Luigi, his brother, and friends have been invited for a free stay at the last resort. Of course, this is yet another trick by the ghost who have freed King Boo. Again. Luigi survives by way of laundry chute and must find his loved ones before escaping. Thankfully, the latest poltergeist model is nearby, so Luigi can suck up any ghost in his way. As someone who has only played the original, I found the strobe bomb mechanic odd, as instead of turning your flashlight on and off, it is always on and you charge it to stun ghosts. While it's not very different in the long run, it does make the game less dark and spooky. Vacuuming is still the same. After stunning a ghost, you can suck it up and start pulling it in the opposite direction to take down its health. While they may escape, once a ghost is down to 0, you will have successfully captured them. Another move is the dark light, which you apply over sepia paintings or areas where it appears an object used to be, to make them appear. Having yet another new poltergeist, Luigi has a few more moves to help him, new for this game. This being a blowback, which functions as a jump on the spot while also blowing any ghosts or objects away from him. A plunger can also be shot out. If landing on an object, it can be pulled with a vacuum and flung over to break. The slam that is used with a plunger can also be done when sucking up a ghost after building enough resistance. You can slam ghosts into each other as well, making combat a speedier process. After rescuing Professor Egad, you will be able to use Luigi. This is a clone of Luigi who can withstand spikes and fit through grates. He dissolves at the slightest touch of water. Luigi isn't optional. Many of the puzzles require use of him and even a few boss fights. When controlling Luigi will be unconscious unless playing in co-op, as after unlocking Luigi, you can from then on play the rest of the game in local 2-player co-op with one of you as Luigi, who is also good for a younger player to grab, as Luigi can be brought back easily after dying and can't open doors. With this handy tool on his back, Luigi makes his way around the hotel. Exploration is key, as rooms may be locked or blocked from the other side. Making full use of your moveset is needed to find your way around, as floors are full of puzzles impeding your progress. Entering rooms and holes you may be blocked until you defeat all the ghosts around you. The goal of each floor is to find the next elevator button, as they've gone missing. All of them usually end up in the hands on the boss of the floor, which are mostly solo ghost fights who require a different use of your moves before you can stun them. Aside from making your way up the hotel to find your friends, there are also collectible gems and boos. Each floor has 6 gems and there are a total of 16 boos to collect. Gems may be visible in glass cases or hidden away. Boos are still annoying but nowhere near as bad as the first game, only changing rooms if you picked the wrong hiding spot to check. Money is also overflowing in this hotel, having a use in this game, as you can buy extra lives and boo or gem locators. There are also a couple of sections for specific mechanics, my favourite being to throw toads into objects. Egad's hints were helpful when it came to previous mechanics I didn't know about, like the dark light, but I'm thankful there was an option to turn them off, as he really won't stop repeating himself and clogs up the bottom half of the screen. Aside from the local co-op, there are 2 different multiplayer modes you can enjoy where Luigi's mentioned 3. First is the Scream Park, which lets you play with a total of 8 people on the one system divided into 2 teams. Coin floating, based on the mechanics of the Boilerworks area, involves using your vacuum to navigate on a float ring to collect coins and avoid mines. While Ghost Hunt is a great way to test who the best Luigi is, as you compete to suck up the most ghosts. Last is Cannon Barrage, where you must load cannonballs, then set them flying to targets. Obviously, the more players you have, the more enjoyable it will be, but Cannon Barrage is the only one I found that doesn't work well with just 2 players. Returning from Luigi's mentioned Dark Moon is the Scarescraper. This lets you go online where 4, or 8 if you all have a local co-op partner as your Luigi, strive to complete the goal of each floor to make it to the end. These goals can be to catch all the ghosts, reach a certain money total, find the missing toads, or defeat all the crows. There are also traps you can be caught in and need another player to get you out, which is why I definitely recommend playing this with friends over voice chat rather than strangers. It's a great way to extend what you can get out of this game, and it's also where you find the rare ghosts for your collection. Back to the building, it's definitely more of a resort with only 1 floor for accommodation. After the first floors, the rest are under different themes, such as a garden, dining area, shopping mall, or a pirate ship. This helps give each area a different vibe, with some rooms having a painted sky on the ceiling and walls to immerse the style more. While not as dark or spooky as the first game, there is plenty of detail outside of the decor. So much is going to show what is blocking a door, which you can later solve. The expression on Luigi and other characters is great and sometimes hilarious. The soundtrack, while not something I usually heard in my bid to collect as much money as I can, also fits the world they've created. I had no performance issues with the game and it looks almost as good in handheld. One major annoyance was that a lot of money and some hearts would get stuck in or fall out of bounds. Luigi also hit a few points of no return, which when playing solo is easily remedied by calling him back to the poltergust. As far as we could tell, there was no way to do that in co-op, so I had to change back to solo, grab him, and then put co-op back on. This happened quite a number of times. Another co-op issue is that you can stun each other with the stro bulb, so make sure not to get too close. I didn't like that the game was autosave only, but it's not a big deal. The pacing is another issue as the later floors are much shorter, some of which are little more than a boss fight. Plus, the 2 instances of having to chase the polter kitty through the hotel seemed pretty pointless when we couldn't catch it either time. There was also another instance of backtracking which felt like a drag when I was getting so close to the end. In comparison to the original, I found there are almost minimal ghost encounters until later in the game. I could usually run around previous areas without being disturbed. As such, outside of some boss fights, the game was quite easy even on my own. I played around 3/4 of the game in local co-op and it took us 12 hours to beat the story. Outside of some co-op niggles and pacing problems, we thoroughly enjoyed the game together. In comparison to other Nintendo Switch titles, playing in co-op was an ideal way to play instead of a half-baked option. Super Mario Odyssey. It's also a great game to play on your own with additional multiplayer modes. And I can't believe this game didn't end on the 13th floor, 0 out of... I give Luigi's Mansion 3 an 8 out of 10. Be sure to check out latestgamers.com for other handheld news, reviews, and guides. Bye.